Hi guys, I'm just going to demonstrate some glass cutting today. So I'm working on a project. It's a Celtic knot. It's got lots of long, thin little pieces like this. So I've got all my pieces ready to go, stuck to the glass here. They're all marked so I know where they go. I'm going to start here on the bottom on this curve right here. The curves are the easiest part to break, so you always want to give it more glass rather than less. So I'm going to start with that curve on the bottom. This glass breaks fairly easy. Always sweeping in between cuts so we don't get glass in our hands or in our workspace. I'm going to just cut this piece off here now. And this time I'm going to tap. I don't want to use the pliers on this piece here that I want to keep, just in case it breaks. Now our piece is released here, and I just have these little sides here to cut off. Sweep again. And if you've never seen any of my glass cutting demonstrations, or you're not familiar with how glass cutting works, this is it's a pencil grip glass cutter. It has a diamond wheel on the end. It's an industrial diamond, so it's very, very hard. And it just scores the top of the glass. And glass is very brittle to where if there's even the smallest little scratch on the surface, it will break through, given the right use of force there. So there's our first piece. And I'm going to take it to the grinder eventually, once I have enough cut, and grind off any rough edges so that it's perfect and that everything fits in my pattern. So I'm just going to keep going here. Basically repeat exactly what I just did on all of these pieces. I'm going to try to work fairly quickly here. All right, 3 left. last piece. Let's see, I'll do that first. All right, I am done with the green pieces. I have a few more blue pieces here to finish. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start with these. These have a lot of curves in them, so I'm just gonna pick the easiest ones to start with, or the hardest ones, rather. So I got this piece here. It's got 2 curves in it. Actually, not too bad. It's gonna go pretty quickly. Piece. Let's do this little guy next. Never sweep too much. You can see while I'm working, my finger here is touching the workbench. There's little glass tips there. I'll pick them up here on my hand. They'll get under my glass, which can cause breakage where I don't want it. So sweep, sweep, sweep. Some of my students make fun of me because I tell them to sweep a lot, but it's one of those things you don't want to learn the hard way. Right, this little piece. This one is a little difficult. I've got a couple of pieces I'm working around, so I'm probably going to take this cut first here, and then that liberates this piece, and I can cut this piece right here. So there we go. All right. And this is bullseye glass, which is so easy to work with. It is very easy to cut for art glass. I mean, there is other glass that's easier to cut, like clear glass with no texture. But as far as art glass goes, bullseye has some pretty user-friendly glass. Here's another piece. Here we go. It's a blue. Sleeves are getting in my way. All right, so for this one, I'm going to take this curve first because it's the most difficult one. And then I will do this one second, and then I will take this top part off third. So you probably don't notice, if you've watched some of these tutorials that people are doing, a lot of people are not actually following the pattern. They're just breaking the pieces apart using the glass cutter, not following the lines or the patterns at all. And then while you're not watching, behind the scenes, they're taking the whole thing to the grinder for like ever and grinding it out, which should only, I mean, that's one of those things that should take like a couple of seconds to do per piece, not several minutes if you follow the pattern. But look closely next time you watch one of those tutorials and see if they're actually cutting along the line or if they're just liberating each piece kind of randomly and then turning the camera off for a little while and then showing you the finished product afterward, after they've been grinding for hours and hours. But following the line takes a little bit of practice. But it's a much quicker way of doing things. Some teachers will actually teach you using the other method that I just talked about, which is basically just separating each piece and then grinding it down. But that is really just too much work, in my opinion. Better to learn how to cut on the lines, save yourself some time and energy, and become more efficient in your work. Okay, so this piece right here, I've got a couple of pieces. I'm gonna separate this piece from this piece by coming up here, and then I'm gonna catch this line up here and cut those pieces apart that way. Basically killing two birds with one stone. I now have this line already cut for this piece, and I've liberated this piece so that I can work on it. Try to maximize the glass as much as possible. Glass is really expensive these days, especially art glass. Some sheets will cost you $100, $120, $130 easy for one sheet of glass. So you don't want to waste it. Curve I probably should have taken first. They're pretty similar. And this is a large piece that I'm working on, so it's less likely to break on me. Just gonna tap this out a little bit. There we go. Sweep, sweep, sweep. If I ever don't sweep in between a cut, let me know. Especially my students, if you're watching and you catch that, please, please, please let me know. Piece on the end here. All right, so there's another one ready for the grinder, and I've got about, I don't know, 20 or 30 pieces over here that are already cut and ready to grind. So as soon as I'm done cutting, I will move over to the grinder and make all these pieces perfect. So first, so I've got a few more pieces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, I'm just going to cut along this line right here to liberate this piece from this piece. Then I'm going to tackle these curves here, which will also liberate this piece and this piece. Then I'll have a little, actually this piece will be done, and cut the rest out, we'll be finished. Move my sweeper there so I don't block the view. I apologize for doing that earlier when I didn't realize it was in the way. sweep, sweep, sweep. Okay, curve number 1. And this isn't a really deep curve. If you've got like way deeper curves, there are different methods for cutting those out without breaking the rest of your glass in places you don't want it to break. And I will probably demonstrate that eventually, because it's good to know. Some really sharp edges there. I'm just gonna take off. There, it's ready for the grinder. Just a few more pieces here and I'll be done. Some more room to work on this piece. And I found it's good to leave these on there until I'm absolutely done working on each piece, and then I've got them all numbered, and that way I know where they go and I don't lose track, because I am not very good at puzzles, and this is like putting together a giant jigsaw puzzle. This particular piece that I'm working on has last I counted, I probably need to recount because I may have missed 1 or 2, but it was 108 pieces. So that's not like a 500 piece jigsaw puzzle or whatever, but it is a lot of pieces. All right. Almost done. Say hi to the camera. I am demonstrating glass cutting.
Okay.
That was my son Elijah, and he is an aspiring stained glass artist as well. He's just finished his second project, and he did a really fantastic job on it. So at 11 years old, to get a start on learning how to cut glass and do this art is really awesome. His dad is also a stained glass artist, so he will be the 3rd generation in his family. All right, 2 more pieces here. I'm just gonna cut these 2 apart at first. There's kind of a curve there that I didn't want to hang it up. Let's go ahead and finish this here. Okay, one last piece here. All right, that's it. Last one. So I'm just going to show you that these are the pieces that I need to grind, and then the piece that I'm working on. This is it. And as soon as I get all the pieces grinded, I will show you what it looks like. So thank you for watching.